So last week, I did a video in Football Manager where I put Messi at Barcelona, but made it so he couldn't retire. And there was one comment that I got over and over and over and over again. Yeah, I got the hint, everyone. You wanted to see the same video with Cristiano Ronaldo. That is what we are doing today. Cristiano trapped at Juventus until he is 70. I hope you do enjoy this video. If you are one of the 40% of people who rely on the YouTube algorithm and being recommended my videos to see them, make sure to subscribe for more content like this. And well, without further ado, let's get in FM21, shall we? So here we are in Football Manager 2021, and here we are on Ronaldo's profile, which looks completely normal, except from, of course, the fact he's moving clubs in 2055. You'll notice that's in 35 years' time. He is going to be here till he's 70. And, well, who's he joining, you might ask? You know, Juve, they're called Zebra in-game, so I thought we'd keep him in a familiar environment. So Ronaldo will be joining Zebra Force of the Gauteng Division 3 in South Africa. I know he's very excited for that move already. And in fact, you can see here, looking forward to moving clubs. I would be too, Cristiano. I hear South Africa's lovely this time of year. Either way, we are going to go forward 3 years to start things. I feel like 38 years old is kind of the point where Ronaldo would usually look to retire, usually look to move away from Juventus. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see, is he still going to be in the first team playing regularly? Let's go forward to 2023, shall we? So we're back, and the first thing that I noticed down at the bottom of the screen is Ronaldo is still playing regular first-team football for Juventus. 20 goals, 10 assists, outperforming his XG, and a 7.71 average rating in the league. I mean, actually, when you look at it, his attributes across the board are just absolutely nuts. Whilst his physicals and his speed are dropping off, Ronaldo is just such an incredibly complete player. And of course, in Football Manager, his aerial ability is just always going to be a threat. I mean, let's look at him really. Let's look at the stats, shall we? 3 seasons he's been at the club, and you could actually argue the most recent season has been his best season. He's played 35 matches in the league. How have Zebra, how have Zebra done kind of in competitions? Have they won anything major? Have they won anything major, he asks. They came at runners-up in the FIFA Club World Cup. They won Serie A in 2023, 2022, and 2021. Gonna pretend to be surprised, but I'm not really. And yeah, it'd be fair to say that Ronaldo's still just really blooming good. I do wonder how long he's going to be able to hang around in the first team. I feel like Messi got into his early 40s when we did this video previously with him, and then he really just started to fall off a cliff, whereas I do wonder, with Ronaldo having slightly better natural fitness and really good determination, if he will just be able to keep playing in the first team that little bit longer. Of course, Juve do also have an under-23s team, and whilst it's not quite a B team, there's a reasonable chance that Ronaldo will at least play a few seasons for them going forward. But yeah, unsurprisingly, he is still really, really blooming good, isn't he? I mean, if we look at milestones and awards, has he won anything major? He almost certainly has. Like, this man is going to just continue to be really, really good. He got Club World Cup Championship top goal scorer a year ago. He's just... It's not fair, is it? He won the Ballon d'Or in 2021 as well. Has he won it since? He hasn't. Well, I guess he could still win it for 2023. I do wonder if his years have now just gone beyond him a little bit. Haaland's won it most recently. He wasn't in the top 3 either. But nevertheless, one more Ballon d'Or for him to put on his shelf isn't too bad a going. Also, is he still playing for Portugal? Is he still playing for Portugal? Because he's got 200 caps for them. It doesn't look like he's retired for Portugal yet, which is kind of mad if that's the case. It says he's undroppable for the national team. Yeah, he's still playing for the Portuguese national team, and from the looks of it, still doing really, really well. You can see at league level, he's been playing out on the left wing rather than as a striker, which is interesting. It's also been where he's played internationally, although when he's played up front, he's debatably performed just a little bit better. But no, absolutely insane. I'm looking forward to seeing what else he can achieve. I think we'll go forward another 3 years. 41 years old really is the end point of any normal human player in Football Manager. If you're going beyond 41, like, you're just insane. And even then, Ronaldo doesn't really do it either. Of course, he's not got a choice in the matter. He's still here for another 32 years. So let's go and see how he's looking. 41, Ronaldo, another 3 years in the future. Surely you still can't be playing on the regular for Juventus. Now, it's pretty clear at this point, Ronaldo's legs might have just gone. 6 acceleration, 7 pace. To be fair, I've seen players with a lot lower physicals than the ones he has, aged 41. It does also look like, sadly, he has retired from Portuguese international football. In fact, he actually retired 3 years ago, retired in November of the year that we were previously around for, but he was still starting for them up until that point. 207 caps to his name. And well, looking at the team stats here, he has played 7 games as a starter in Serie A, 23 off the bench, 9 goals, 2 assists, still above a 7.0 average rating. And additionally, you can see here, he's played for Juventus's under-23s this year. And you can see here, they currently play in Serie C. They tend to fluctuate the division that they're in, the kind of B team here in Italy. You can see how have they actually done this league season. Let's take a peek. I don't think he's played many games for them, but I'm still curious to see where they ended up finishing. So they finished 8th. They were in the playoffs. Ronaldo, he couldn't quite help them enough in the few appearances he made for them. It's going to be interesting to see if he's just stuck down in the under-23s permanently before too long. But you can see here, the previous 2 years, 15 goals in the league back-to-back seasons, still averaging above a 7.4, but it would be fair to say that this most recent year has kind of marked perhaps the beginning of the end for poor Ronaldo. I say that, 9 goals in the league is still really blooming good. I mean, just looking at him as an overall player, his dribbling is dropping off as well. With players, dribbling seems to be tied into kind of their physicals. I guess it's to do with how quick they can move with the ball under their control. So as they get older, it does tend to drop off faster than most aspects of his game. Obviously, his mentals are just nuts. He can still jump, although whether or not that'll be the case next time we go forward, I suppose, remains to be seen. You can see here, he has still won a little bit of silverware here and there with Juve, although it looks like they've not won the league in the past couple of seasons. And in fact, last season they finished 3rd, and this season it looks like they have finished 3rd as well. Ronaldo is their vice-captain, but of course he is on £1 million a week, which I do anticipate longer term is going to hurt Juve pretty badly. I mean, if we just look at Serie A here and then go to the team stats, we should be able to have a pretty good idea of exactly how much Ronaldo is eating up of their wage budget. So he's on, £1 million a week, and their yearly spend is £200 million. So he is on about a quarter of the yearly salary of the entire club, which I imagine longer term is potentially going to hold them back. You can see it was a 2-horse race between Roma and Inter most recently. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see the longer-term effects of this just crazy wage that he's on. His squad role has now dropped down to impact sub as well, sadly. Anyway, I think we'll go forward 4 years this time till he's 45. I do anticipate by that point he's going to be with the under-23s, if not that, just kind of stuck in with the under-20s and not even good enough for the under-23s. But, you know, enjoy one last look. I get a sneaking suspicion that in 4 years' time Ronaldo is going to look a fair bit different to how he does right now. Yeah, I'll join you guys then. Well, the good news is Ronaldo is playing regular first-team football. The bad news is it's not actually with the first team. He is now well and truly with the kids in the under-23s. You can see here, aged 45, valued now at £20,000, and his physicals kind of might imply why he's only worth £20,000. There's a lot of ones there, and to be fair, I'm most impressed by the fact his balance and his jumping reach are still around, although it does look pretty bleak, doesn't it? When you look at the polygon in the top right, it just looks broken, but still mentally incredibly good. Technically, I mean, he's insane. His composure is dropping a lot, but his finishing and his off the ball still remain pretty good. Although I'm not sure how useful 17 off the ball is when you literally can't run. He is still a perfectionist, of course, and as I said, he's made the move to Juventus's under-23s. It was a bit of a steady transition, but after shall we say, some lacklustre performances in the first team. It does seem like he's now been thrown in with the kids. This season, he's not played at all for the first team. The previous few years, it looks like he kind of rebounded and moved between the two teams. But 5 goals, 6 assists, above a 7.0 rating for the first time in his career. And it's happened when he's 45. I mean, that gives you an idea of just how insane he is. If we just look at Juventus's under-23s, how are they getting on? What are they doing? They are currently, well, they're not in the playoff final, sadly. They made it to the playoffs again. They've finished 9th. Which I don't know how much Ronaldo's really helping with. It's kind of funny when you look at their team here, all players kind of 20 and under, and then there's just Ronaldo sat at the top, aged 45 years and 128 days on 100 million pounds. It's not 100 million, it's £1 million, Jack. £1 million. It's not quite 100 million. Looking at things, since they've got rid of him from the regular first team spots, Juve have actually won the league. They finished first in 2028. This year they just finished second, and the year before that they finished third. So they're still very much competing at the top. I really did think they might, hamstring them, I suppose, just having Ronaldo on this kind of really, really long deal, kind of milking away the money. And whilst I'm sure it is having a little bit of an effect, you got to give them some credit. Juve are still putting in some really, really blooming good performances on the pitch and still looking like one of the bigger teams in Italy. You can see here, Ronaldo wants to feature more in the first team. I've got some bad news for you, mate. You're here for another 25 years, and I don't think they're going to call you back up. I don't see him getting another chance in the first team, but what would I know? Maybe I'm going to be completely wrong here. I think this might be the beginning of the end. At least he's still got the under-23s to play for. I think we'll go forward 5 years till he's aged 50 and then go forward 20 years after that. So I will join you guys for the big 5-0. Let's put on a birthday bash. Is it just me, or has Ronaldo learned how to play centre mid over the course of this video? I feel like he has. Maybe I'm wrong. Of course, if you do notice anything I don't notice, because when there's tens of thousands of you watching, you have lots more eyes than me combined, I will miss some stuff. Make sure to mention it down below. I have noticed here there's a relegation in the career milestones. The relegation from the... Okay, that is not the first team, that is the under-23s, which Ronaldo is not even playing with. He's now with the under-20s. They've had him in the B team, they've had him with the under-23s, they've decided he's not good enough for them, and he's playing alongside Valverde, who, I mean, he's only 30, I say only 36, that's still pretty old, looks a lot better than Ronaldo does by comparison, but yeah, I bet they're having a right time in the under-20s, to be fair. What does that mean for Ronaldo's career? Well, if we look at things... Oh no, I mean, he has actually been called back up to the first team very, very occasionally, but they're just not playing him at all. He's had one more appearance in the first team since we were last here, and he's kind of just sat around, I feel like, at the training ground, hoping he'll be remembered, hoping that he'll get a call-up. It is worth noting that Juventus under-23s got relegated below Serie C, which is below the playable levels of Football Manager, and in the 1 year he's played below that level, in, I guess, Serie D, he's got 17 goals and 22 assists, a bit of a resurgence, perhaps. Even this season just gone, 15 assists, 7 goals. I have to question how bad Serie D is. I'm curious, is he playing at centre mid? Apparently he's not played any games. I guess we're just not keeping track of the under-23s anymore. They don't upload their stats to the internet for people to keep hold of and keep track of. I mean, if I showed you this polygon with no context, I don't think you're going to say it's Ronaldo's. It's fair to say, aged 50, I think he's hit his limit, everyone. He's not even in the B team anymore. Well, actually, he did play in the B team, but he's no longer in the B. They're just... I feel like he's kind of without a home. I feel a bit sad for him, really. I'm just going to throw up a screenshot here so you can kind of see Ronaldo compared to Messi at a similar point in the previous video we did with him, just so you can see the difference, because it's kind of interesting how different the two players are in certain elements, but there are definitely, some similarities, I suppose, when you stop players retiring. There's only so much in the way of diversity that Football Manager has as to what will happen with a player, because... it's not a normal thing to happen in Football Manager. A player's meant to have retired by now. The game is probably sat thinking, Jack, what the hell are you doing with me? Please stop. Well, I'm sorry, Football Manager. I'm not stopping. We're going forward again. 20 years. He's going to be 70 years old. Ronaldo, how are you looking? Hopefully you're ready for your move to Zebra Force. I'll see you in just a moment. So here we are at the end, and somehow he's managed to get worse over the last 20 years. I'm pretty certain at this point Ronaldo's current ability is just at 1. In fact, can we see that? I think we can. If we go here, his recommended current ability is 1. Literally, you could not get a worse player than how he is right now. Like, you can't have 1s in everything the way Football Manager works. I mean, the silver lining is, still got great determination, great flair and great leadership. Not sure how he's going to make much use of any of those. Has he actually played any football? Okay. He has... God, in the last 20 years, I think he's made 31 appearances. He played a flurry of games in the under-23s where they still appear to have not been promoted back to Serie C. He got a 6.81 rating there. And then they just decided, I think for the lols, as much as anything, a couple of years ago, they decided to give him another shot. 5 appearances in the under-23s, 1 assist, a 5.7 rating in 5 matches. If it was one game with a 5.7, you could almost let it slide. How badly must he have played for it to go that far downhill? You can see, looking at his positions, he's a makeshift centre-back and a makeshift right-back. I guess he's been bunged into those positions over the years. Of course, Zebra, or Juve, still suffering from his wages that they have to pay, and you can see they have not won a Serie A title in a very, very long time. The lowest they appear to have finished is 11th, which is actually quite surprising. There's something oddly uncomfortable as well by the fact that Jonathan David, who's kind of a current wonder kid, is the Juventus manager. That just doesn't feel right, does it? Also, they're playing at the Zebra Stadium. They must love it over at the Zebra Stadium. I'll tell you who's not playing over there. Ronaldo. I'm trying to work out if there's anything we can take away from this, but I'm not entirely sure there is. It looks like he was promoted with the under-23s. Did they get promoted one year? I'm not sure. Or this is the under-20. He got promoted with the under-20s, everyone. I mean, there's a milestone for you. You can have a look here at what he's achieved. It's got a fair few gaps over the last couple of decades where he's not really doing anything. In fact, the last award he won was with the Juventus under-23s. I guess this is like Player of the Week or Team of the Week or something. I wonder if he's still clutching on to that award kind of 25 years later. In terms of landmarks, well, great news, everyone. He was appointed Zebra under-20 captain and under-23s vice-captain in this year just gone. So I bet he's buzzing about that. In fact, it looks like he's been given captaincy and then removed it repeatedly. I guess they just keep pulling him up and down between the under-23s and the under-20s, which is kind of funny. He broke the Serie A record for the oldest player to appear in a match, aged 45. Good job, Ronaldo. He also acquired his Continental coaching licence and his Continental A, but he doesn't have any staff attributes anymore. It's like he's decided to retire as a staff member, and that's then got rid of all the coaching badges he took. Which, frankly, just feels a bit sad to think about, really. Anyway, guys, that is going to wrap up this video from me. I hope you did enjoy it. If you were wondering, how did Ronaldo do at Zebra Force? He did score a few goals. He retired 2 years later, but because it's the South African non-leagues, it's not really a thing in Football Manager that I can track in any detail, sadly. But I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, of course, as I said at the top, drop a like on the video. Make sure to subscribe. More videos like this coming very, very soon. If you've got your own idea for a wacky or wonderful experiment, leave it down in the comments. And until next time, it is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.